We're here at Wolf Park in Columbus, and that's Broad Street right over there, and there's the parking lot and the tennis courts, and this is the pathway that goes sort of all through Columbus. It's the bike path that goes all through Columbus. And I was walking down this path one day early in April, on one of those nice April days, and I had gone up to Jeffrey Mansion, and I took some pictures of a spider on a fence, and I did all sorts of other stuff, and I was on my way back, and instead of walking straight back to the big red Jeep, I always walk along the edge, because the edge is where you see the cool stuff. And I came across this stone wall here, and when I did, there was a snake, and I didn't see it, but it slithered out there and scared me. And so I didn't expect it, and it slithered into the wall, and I screamed, like I audibly screamed, and I don't usually scream, but it kind of surprised me, and so I looked around to make sure nobody was looking, and coast was clear, and I could just barely see its tail sticking out, and so I went around to the edge of the wall to see if I could see it on the other side, and I did. I saw its head sticking out of the rocks, and it was such a cool shot from the side. You could just see its head sticking out, so I kind of snuck over to the side and got my camera already, and then swung around to take its picture, and it was gone already, so I didn't get the shot. But I did see this. There were all these bees, and they were all flying about, you know, couple inches off the ground really fast, and the more I looked, the more I saw. They were everywhere. They were all on this clearing back behind this rock wall. Now I recognize that they weren't stinging bees. There's a lot of bees around here that don't sting, and so I wasn't worried about these bees, but I was excited because I wanted to see where they came from. And I figured if there were all these bees around, they had to be coming from someplace, so I was looking for a hole where they might be coming from in the ground, and I saw a bunch of holes, and in each of the holes there were bees, and you could see the little bees in each of the hole, and they would stick their heads out of the hole, and look at that thing, look how cute that is, sticking its head out of there. And then other bees would come and they would slam into the holes and try to see if it was, I don't know if they were trying to see if it was empty or if they were seeing if there was another bee in there or whatever they were doing. They would go in and they would get rid, and then they would take off, and look, this one's cleaning itself off, and then it would take off. And then every once in a while you would see these bee balls, and so you would see like this ball of bees, and it was a bunch of males, and it was around a female. You can see that female, she's the one with the big head. Of course, the whole body was bigger on the females, so they had a big head too. It wasn't just their head was, okay, so all right, so the female's the one with the big head there, and so the males are all like gathering around trying to mate with her, and then one of them starts to mate with her, and you can't even tell, and neither can the other males, but then every once in a while one of them will figure it out, so he'll fly off, then another one will fly off, and then you'll just have this mating pair left, and the male will be sitting on top. You see, he's smaller than she is, and then all these other males will come and try and knock him off to the side, and then the guy will, you know, hey, I'm sitting here, leave me alone, I'm bidding, you know, and there's no privacy. So I saw the snake and I screamed, but I didn't run away. And then I saw the bees and I didn't run away either, and I kept looking. I wouldn't have seen any of this stuff if I didn't stop and look again. By the way, if you were thinking about this, and I don't know if you were thinking about this or not, but you might have wondered how I got these photos of this snake. If, like I said, when I walked up, it slithered away, and then I screamed and whatever. You heard that whole part. But how do I have these photos of this snake? Well, I got to tell you something. It lives, well, it used to at least live right here. And so now this is all more overgrown. Back then it was empty, and it was living right on these dried leaves and stuff. Now I haven't seen it the last couple times, but for about a week, every time I went up there, the snake was sitting there. So I went back the next day and it was still sitting there. I took those pictures, and then I kind of scared it off so I could get the one with the tail sticking out of the wall, like I said. Tricky, huh? And so then, and actually the bees were there for a couple weeks too. And now all of them are gone. Of course, that area over there used to be bare too, like you can see in the videos. Not bare, but open more. Now it's all overgrown and you can't even hardly walk through it. So the bees wouldn't be able to really sort of find each other anymore either. But interesting story about mining bees.